saw a number of injuries at quarterback on Sunday. Rookie quarterback Justin Fields stepped in for Andy Dalton after the Bears starter went down with a knee injury in the second quarter. Tua carted off after Miami's second drive due to a rib injury, with Jacoby Brissett taking over for him the rest of the way. In Colts quarterback Carson Wentz suffering an apparent ankle injury in the fourth quarter. Jacob Eason replacing him for Indy's final two series could have cost them the game. And Texans starter Tyrod Taylor was replaced at the start of the second half by the rookie Davis Mills after he suffered a hamstring injury. Wow, that's a lot. Michael, let me ask you this. What do you think was the biggest week 2 injury just in terms of impact?
Oh, in more ways than one. I look at the Carson Wentz situation and say, boy, that was the biggest. I mean, when you think about where the Colts are, you know, and the Colts were in that game with the Rams. They were playing a tight game. And then you turn around and you see what the Titans did. I'm talking for that division right there. And that's team-wise. They need Carson Wentz. But also, I leave the team and focus on the individual. You're trying to rebuild your career by trying to rebuild your man or your man reality, your mentality. Your mentality. You're trying to rebuild, get confidence, and you're on the way to doing that. And to get out, remember now, you got hurt. Next guy came in, took the team to a Super Bowl. You don't have to worry about that here. You do not have to worry about Jacob Eason coming in and taking the coach to a Super Bowl. But just for your mentality, man, I thought that was a big, devastating injury. And I thought you saw it on his face when it happened. He said he tried to do everything to get back in that game for his teammates. But I also thought for himself, he needed to get back in that game, and he just couldn't do it.
I can get where you're coming from with that, but I'm going to tell you something I think is bigger. Tua Tagovailoa for the Miami Dolphins. You have to remember, now he has to go out. Well, it was like completed like 1 of 4 passes for just 13 yards before and was sacked twice before he got injured. On the season, isn't that impressive? 17 to 31 in a game and a half or so. 54.8% completion percentage, okay? 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Wasn't great. The Miami Dolphins, this is their quarterback. He goes down. You got to go with Jacoby Brissett, okay? That ain't part of the plan. Number 2, remember, now that he's hurt, you can't play him and you can't trade him because they were talking about potentially trading him. Now, obviously, Houston Texans asking for a lot to get their hand to give up Deshaun Watson, and we get all of that. But the flip side to it is that with Tua Tagovailoa out, now you can't play him and you can't trade him because ain't nobody going to trade for a hurt player, okay? So you got that going on. Number 3, they had the pick before the Chargers picked Justin Herbert.
You know what?
And they passed up on Herbert to get Tua. If he is not on the field showing you that he's worth the investment, it ain't just him who looks bad. It's Brian Flores who looks bad. It's Chris Greer, the general manager, and these are brothers. These are African Americans. I'm unapologetically rooting for them because, damn it, we don't see that too often in NFL where you got a black executive like Chris Greer, just like you got Andrew Berry in Cleveland. I'm rooting for both of them.
And I
ain't apologizing to a damn soul.
Love Tua.
That's right.
The owners that love Tua.
That's right.
Even so, you know, and there were talks about possibly taking Herbert with that pick.
Yes.
But it came back to them owners. So Brian Flores may have been rooting or trying to get the Flores. We don't get to Herbert.
Yeah, but
we
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying, but you and I both know this. The owners might make the call, and this is where we have to love Jerry Jones. I'm actually going to be serious here. This is where we have to love Jerry Jones. See, Jerry Jones don't put his hand out there, the hand of power, and say, this is what I want you to do, and then go hide when it don't work. He's right there front and center. Yeah, with me. I'm the one that made that call. I listen to other people, but I'm the one that made that call. You got a lot of owners that they'll sit up there and force somebody to do something, but they're nowhere to be found when the blame needs to be distributed and they play the role in it. So I don't know if that's going to be Stephen Ross in Miami. I don't know that to be the case, but I'm telling you, when you look at those 3 components, Tua going down is a devastating blow for the Miami Dolphins.
Which team are you higher on? Which one do you think has a higher ceiling before the quarterback injuries? Would you go Indy or Miami?
Oh my God, I love. I think Indy has a great ceiling.
So do I.
With Coach Frank Wright.
So maybe they get Nick
Coach
Foles.
Frank.
Oh Lord.
They can't do that.
Why?
I just told you about the mentality of Carson Wentz. You're going to lose 2 quarterbacks. You're going to bring Nick Foles in. You're going to lose.
Michael, how many injuries has he had now? At some point, we have to look at him now and be concerned
they're trying
if
to
he can stay on
rebuild
the
Carson
field.
Wentz. He has first-round talent. He's with the coach that he's had his greatest success with. The most important thing is because you know he has the skill set. This goes back to what we were talking about with Justin Fields and the importance of a mindset of the quarterback. You cannot bring Nick Foles. I don't care if they ain't got no more quarterbacks in the NFL. You can't bring in Nick Foles.
I will say this. There's one condition under which you could bring Nick Foles into Indy, and that is if Carson Wentz would have missed games because of COVID. Now, that hasn't been the case. But from my understanding, when we talk about quarterbacks who have elected not to be vaccinated, Kirk Cousins was one of them.
10 days.
Kirk Cousins was one of them.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz was another. I'm saying, if that is true, because I don't know what to be true, not I just read it.
Right.
The point is, if that were to be true, you get injured, that's one thing. But if you miss games because of COVID, then they can sit up there and say all bets are off. Damn it,
what you want to do with Carson Wentz then? You're going to get rid of him after that because he's no good anymore in Indy.
Yeah.
Because he's going to say you did the same thing they did to him in Philly. Remember, we're sticking with Carson.
Well, Philly didn't have Frank Wright.
He wanted out. Right.
Philly didn't have Frank Wright.
So you'll break his mind with that. You'll break his mind. Right now, that's his team. You got to make sure he knows that's his team because he already dealt with the situation where he lost his team. If you want his talent, you got to fix his head, and this is the most important part.
Well, we got to get more information also when they're both going to be coming back with the rib injury and potentially the ankle.
Yeah.
All right, guys. The Brady to Gronk connection has been money this season, but how about Stafford to Cup? Not too far behind. Are the Rams the biggest threat to the Bucs in the NFC? Plus, how's this for a debate? Which quarterback would you rather have right now? Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray? Stephen A's surprising take. They would rather have Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray for the rest of the season, and I promise you will want to stick around for that debate. Plus, if you like football bloopers, we assembled the best from the weekend, so don't miss that as well. But right now, it's quick takes. Vamos. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense struggled versus the 49ers, only scoring 11 points. Stephen A., was Jalen Hurts week 1 a fluke?
It seemed that way to me. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I did tell some people that he's going up against the defense this time around. They ain't the Atlanta Falcons. These are the San Francisco 49ers. I did say that.
I'll give you that.
So I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna tell you he's gonna have a bad season or anything like that. I'm just gonna say the way everybody was raving about him, that ain't him. Not yet.
All right.
No.
Playmaker, Browns lose a close one week 1 to the Chiefs, then beat the Texans. Are the Browns for real?
Yeah, the Browns are for real. Now this young man here, he's continuing to develop, but that defense is serious. Now, I'm worried about losing Jarvis Landry and how long he will be gone, and I'm waiting on them to get back Odell Beckham Jr. because they're going to need all that firepower that they can get when they see the Chiefs again, but they are for real.
RC, Denver 2-0 after beating the Giants and the Jags. Teddy Bridgewater, he has looked solid. Denver Broncos, for real.
I believe they are. I believe they are very good defensively. Obviously, you don't have to be great against the Jags and the Giants, but Teddy Bridgewater, who's always been a smart player, always put the ball in the right place, has a great group of skill players. You have Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy's now hurt, but you have KJ Hamler, and you also have Noah Fant, who's probably the fastest tight end in the NFL. I think that this team's going to be tough to beat. The only issue is they're in the AFC West.
There you go.
All right, staying in the AFC, the Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Las Vegas Raiders 26-7.